What's good, everybody? Welcome into the very first official Early Edge live in the afternoon for the football season. I, of course, am the coach. We are powered by the almighty Sportsline, the best community in all of sports betting. We want you to be a part of it. And throughout the next hour, we're going to give you several different opportunities to be a part of it. Now, over the course of the next hour, here's what this show is going to be every single Tuesday. We're going to dive deep into the initial lines, the totals, maybe a few props that the best cappers in the business that I'm going to bring on in just a little bit are going to give you their initial takes. We're going to give away a few games on Tuesday, but really kind of setting the table for Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. That's what we will do here on this show, and we'll hit every single game for a couple of minutes, and that should be up to a full hour. Now, we have a little giveaway I want to do today. So for those of you, I want you to go to our YouTube page where you're watching right now. Hit the like button. If we get to 100, I will give away a copy of Madden 22. That's right, autographed by one of the voices in the actual game. Guess who that is? That's right, your boy. I will autograph this because I'm in the game. The very first voice you hear is mine in Madden 22. So let's get to 100 likes. If we get to 200, I'll give away 2 of these bad boys. You just let me know if you want Xbox, if you want PlayStation. But you got to give a like, and also leave your Twitter handle, and then the hashtag Thank You Coach. That makes you eligible. Twitter handle, hashtag Thank You Coach, and give us a like. You can be eligible for this right here. All right. Well, you already see the faces. You already see the names. I love them. Let's start with the number 1 NFL handicapper at all of Sportsline. He's right below me, RJ White. RJ, what's good, man?
If I give 100 legs, do I get that game?
I know a guy who might be able to give you one. I know a guy. Lady killer, Maddie Severance, clean shaven, looking great. How are you, Maddie Severance?
Good. If you don't mind, I'd like to give a quick shout out to Ed Gale. He was the winning bidder on me in the St. Jude charity thing. I want to say first off that I'm surprised that Jay Smooth didn't win because he's always texting me very unusual questions late at night. I don't know what that's about, but I spoke to Ed last week. Great guy. I really enjoyed it, and I enjoy interacting with Sportsline people. The winning bid was $8.47, so obviously St. Jude can just take the rest of the year off from fundraising now.
You're such an idiot. But I will say we all had fun with those calls, certainly. I was shocked to see that you were willing to do it, and I was shocked even more to see that you enjoyed it. So thank you, Severance. M Squared, you know he's going to be a vital part of all of these afternoon live shows. M Squared, hello.
How you doing, Coach? It's good afternoon here. No weather forecast from me yet for the NFL, but getting ready for this baseball game tonight, U.S. Open tennis tonight. It's a beautiful week. Could not be in a better mood.
Oh, I love it. If you haven't seen the segment from our morning show today, go check it out on our Twitter page here at Sportsline. It was so funny with Mikey telling us why the weather index and air density was going to be so important tonight, which we absolutely love. All right, real quick, I want to preview what our live streams are going to look like for the rest of this week. Every single day, by the way, starting now, except for Saturday, we'll have an afternoon live show. So, Johnny, go ahead and bring up what our live streams are going to look like this week. Tomorrow, on Wednesday, we will have a full college football Week 2 preview hosted by AB himself. And if you watched it last week, those guys absolutely killed it. Chip Patterson was, I think, 9-2 on the show, something like that. Then on Thursday, we will be back doing a full Thursday Night Football preview of game number 1, Cowboys and the Bucs. Then NFL Week 1 favorite props, that will be on Friday. And then Sunday, we'll be doing 3 different shows, a morning show, kickoff show at noon, and then an evening show as well. And then on Monday, a full hour-long preview of Monday Night Football. We can't do any more than we can for that. All right, let's jump right in. So we want this to be, obviously, if you have any questions in the comment section, throw them out. We'll try to get to as many as we possibly can. Get those likes going. But, guys, I want to start every single week with kind of what we believe, outside of Thursday and Monday Night Football, to be the biggest games of the week, the biggest 5. So I kind of picked them myself this week. I said, hey, these have really good storylines. They could have really good implications to start the season. So I want to bring them up. And, RJ, I want to start with you, and then you guys just piggyback. I want you to tell me the game, just as a fan of gambling, betting, whatever, which of these games are you most looking forward to? RJ, you're up first.
Well, as a Bills fan, I feel compelled to say Steelers Bills, but I really want to look at that Dolphins Patriots game. I want to see how good Mac Jones is starting out in week one. I want to see how Tua looks in week one against what's been a very good coach against young quarterbacks and against a really good defense. And as a Bills fan, I want to see which one of these teams I have to worry about more in this division moving forward. So Dolphins Patriots is going to be a really good setup for what the second class team, the second best team in that division could be. And if the Bills falter a little bit and they regress from what the highs that they had last year, if they come back to the pack, then which one of these teams might win the division between the Dolphins and Patriots? So I think that game's kind of fascinating to me.
Lady Killer, what do you got?
Go ahead, Lady Killer.
Whatever. I could have been talking to either one of us, I guess. But I'm gonna, RJ's cool enough not to pick his own team, but I have to say Bears-Rams. I am a Bears fan, obviously. I want Matt Nagy gone. Of course, with my luck, they'll replace him with Miami's Manny Diaz, the way the Hurricanes looked. But I can't believe they're starting Richie Cunningham. I mean, at quarterback, Justin Fields was so much better. So I just want them to if they get smashed, Nagy and Ryan Pace are on their way out the door, and it's just one game closer to Justin Fields playing. I don't see how they're going to be close against the Rams, even though they lost Cam Akers. But it's been 3 defensive slugfests the past 3 years between those two, and I expect nothing different. It'll be probably 13-3 or something like that. But that's my game.
Hey, Mikey, RJ, did I not make it clear that I would like you to pick one of these 5 games that you're looking forward to? But leave it to Maddie to pick a game that I didn't put on the screen. But that's okay. That is on brand for you, and I actually dig it. M Squared, what do you like?
Very on brand. That's why I was laughing the whole time. I guess he just looked down instead of at the screen, saw the Bears uniform and ran with it.
Pretty much did. Yeah, look at my belly.
I'll mention 2 of them here. Like RJ, I could be the homer and say I'm interested in the Browns-Chiefs game. I think everyone on the planet is probably interested in that game. For me, it's going to be Packers and Saints. You've got the added element of the neutral site game. Aaron Rodgers back with the team. What's he going to look like? Has to go to a neutral site or road game, however you want to look at it. And then Jameis Winston taking control of the offense. I think that one's super interesting. What's it going to look like with Alvin Kamara out there? Michael Thomas not out there. Will Marquez Callaway be the emerging wide receiver that we think he is, that he has shown that he looks like he's going to be early in the preseason here? So that one's got my eye for sure. Obviously, I like the same one that RJ did, Dolphins, Patriots. I want to see what Mac Jones can do, and then I want to see how much can this Dolphins team really progress here in this next year. This is a year where we really would expect them to take another leap forward. Going to be a nice test for them against Bill Belichick and the Patriots in week 1.
Yeah, they certainly added some depth at the wide receiver position, but I think it's very fascinating, Mikey, that you've got the last 3 starting quarterbacks for Alabama are all going to start in week 1. Which is amazing. Tua, Mac Jones, and, of course, Jalen Hurts, who transferred to OU. He'll be starting for the Eagles. So I want to be very clear as we continue to get those likes going, and we're almost to 100 already. Leave your Twitter handle and then hashtag thank you, coach. And we're going to be 1 copy of Madden 22 autographed by me. So I want to be very clear that what this show is, we will be giving out picks that we like on Tuesday, but then we'll go through every single game on kind of how we're leaning, how we, or my guys, like the opening line and where the totals are at right now. So, RJ, I want to start with you because you have several plays that you've already targeted that you like this week. I want you to rip through them and kind of tell me why here on Tuesday you feel compelled for these so far.
Yeah, I have several plays up at Sportsline. So already bit of a unique week 1 because, we get that gap week this year that we didn't have. So I was confident putting in several plays. 2 that I put in today, I'll start with, are the Dolphins at +3 and the Buccaneers -8. Now, the reason I went with the Dolphins is because that line was 2.5 for the longest time. And it's interesting that you get Mac Jones, a rookie quarterback making his first start, is named the starter, and they move that to 3. They put half a point on it. So I'm a little skeptical of that one, and we'll break it down a little bit more later. But Dolphins +3, it just seems like it's not going to get any higher than that. You're getting value with Dolphins at 3. Buccaneers at -8. I wanted to get 7. It was 7.5 for the longest time. I figured when Stack got cleared, it was clear he was fully healthy. He was going to play. The market would jump on Dallas and push it down to 7, where we could jump in and get the Bucs. Then Zach Martin gets positive for COVID and he's out. The line goes the other way, half a point. So I think that's kind of emblematic of what we're going to see this year. You're getting these weird absences out of nowhere for COVID, and what you expected to happen with the line goes the opposite. So jumped in on it at 8. I think it's only going to go up if it moves off of 8. So I like that there. Then I went with a few totals that I put in. last week. I like the over in Jaguars Texans. I think both of those defenses are pretty terrible. Broncos Giants, I went with the under. I think both those offenses are going to be pretty bad. Although there is some hope that Broncos are better than what they showed last year now that Teddy Bridgewater is quarterback. And Seahawks Colts, it's under. I put under 40.5 in. Now that it looks like Wentz is playing, the number's starting to creep back up. It's 50 in a lot of places. I think it's going to keep going up. So if you're looking to play that one, I think wait a bit longer. You might be able to get 50.5 or 51 and get under on that, because I don't think there's going to have we're going to see a lot from the Colts offense, considering Wentz barely got to practice, a receiver injured in T.Y. Hilton. That's going to be a little bit weird that passing offense is not going to be at its full strength, I think. So why I'm liking the under in that one.
All right. It should be noted that the Seahawks, since Russell Wilson began back in 2012, they have the best record in the Eastern Conference when they go there and play. It's really they have a really good. I think it's 23-7, something like that. It's nuts. So they play well when they travel to the East Coast. We'll get into all these games in a second. But Mikey, you have one play that you like so far, and it's the Chiefs at home giving 6 to the Cleveland Browns, a rematch from last year's divisional game that the Chiefs won 22-17 in the playoffs. Why do you like the Chiefs right now?
Yeah, I mean, I think that this one matches the line in the market currently matches the offseason hype that's been around the Cleveland Browns. I think the thing that's being discounted here is the offensive line improvements that the Kansas City Chiefs have made. What sticks out here is that narrow victory for the Chiefs over the Browns, as you just mentioned. What people are forgetting is the offensive line terribly banged up. Patrick Mahomes left the game. Chad Henne played in part of this game. I think that they're severely discounting Kansas City's improvements that they've made on that offensive line. They've got everybody healthy now, and they're back at home in front of one of the best crowds, one of the best environments in all of the National Football League. So I make this game minus 6.4 for the Chiefs if it were a neutral site. That number balloons all the way to 8.7, and that might even be discounting the home field advantage a little bit, as I've only got it at 2.3 points. I could see the argument all the way up to 3 for them here, but either way, getting this at 6, not even at 6.5, it's a pretty significant key number here in the National Football League. I think it's a great spot for Kansas City in week 1.
All right, very good. Now, we do want to mention, keep those likes coming. Use the hashtag, thank you, Coach. Leave that Twitter handle. When we get to 200 likes, the moment I will get Johnny to text me a winner. Keep them coming. You guys are doing a phenomenal job. Now, over in the comment section, Bobby Ryan said, honestly, I wouldn't play anything until Sunday. So many injuries and absence could happen due to COVID. Now, we have guys that are both sides of the fence. Most of the time on this show, you're going to see a few plays, not a lot, because, Maddie, this is exactly the reason why we can't give out a lot of early plays. What's your mindset on that?
Pulled a Jay Smooth. You guys been texting too much at night, apparently.
That's right. You pulled a Jay Smooth.
I was up late. He was, he asked me what I was wearing. I forgot what I was saying. Oh, yeah. Like RJ said with Zach Martin, I was kind of thinking, that change of line. So I think, what is it, Wednesday now? If you test positive on Wednesday or later, you're out. I believe it's 5 days now. I'm not a doctor. Stay at a Holiday Inn Express, but yeah, you won't see any picks for me on the NFL other than Thursday, until at least Friday, barring a quarterback you're ruled out or something. So I agree. As far as from an official bet perspective, sure, you could get on the wrong side of the line if the COVID goes the wrong way. But yeah, this year I just really don't think there's any point of actually putting money down until the last possible second, even if you're, I'd rather have knowledge even if I'm on the bad side of the line, perhaps.
Yeah. I think that there's arguments for both, because if I see a really good line like what Mikey's talking about, I'm willing to risk that Patrick Mahomes is going to show up on Sunday in that offensive line. So I think there's both sides of the fence, and we'll try to be as transparent and as helpful as we possibly can for people at home to try to help them with that. But there's no doubt it's different now with COVID and the issues with COVID. So let's jump right in. I know there's new people coming into the show all the time, so I want to say welcome to those that are new. This is Early Edge Live, our official afternoon show. We'll have a show every single day except for Saturday, and on this show, we preview all of the games in week number 1. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to go through every single game, 2 or 3 minutes on each game. RJ, I'm going to start with you on this first one. Then Maddie, you jump in, and then Mikey jump in, and I'll jump in where we need to. But RJ, the reason I'm having you start with the first one is Thursday Night Football. It's the Cowboys and the Bucs. You already say you like the Bucs -8, and the total right now is 51.5. So you start the discussion on why you like the Bucs laying the 8. Go right ahead.
Yeah, like I mentioned, Zach Martin out. That's a huge deal. Lyle Collins had been banged up. He hadn't practiced much. I think he's back at full practice this week. So at least they're going to have their right tackle in. But considering that the Bucs have returned all 22 starters, their first defending champs is 1977 Raiders to return all 22 Super Bowl starters. They have a lot of continuity on both sides of the ball, and Dallas doesn't really. They're moving pieces in on defense. Dak's coming back on offense. The defending champs are already 14-6 against the spread in Week 1 over the last 20 years, and with that continuity, I think the Bucs just have a little bit more of an edge. So I don't think the Cowboys' offensive line is going to hold up, especially the interior against that Bucs front, and I don't think the Cowboys' cornerbacks are going to be able to slow up the Bucs receivers. The Bucs have 3 great receivers in tow, even though Godwin picked up a little injury. He was limited in practice on Tuesday. So we'll see if he plays, but even if he doesn't, I think the combination of Evans and Brown can do whatever they want to against that Cowboys defense. So I think the Bucs should be able to score what they want, and I'm not sure the Cowboys will be able to match them.
Addy, go ahead. Jump in anytime, sir.
Okay. I just didn't know what the reference was. Okay. Those are all great points. Now they're Bucs starting safety Jordan Whitehead's out. Chris Godwin is now iffy. He was limited practice today. And it's an odd stat. I don't think it means anything. Tom Brady's past 8 games with a kickoff of 7 Eastern or later. Didn't cover any of them. Just note that the Super Bowl kicked off before 7 o'clock at night. Yeah, but as RJ said, I agree with what he says. To me, if it gets over 8, I think I'm going to take points. But I think the Bucs might be a little bit short off season, all that stuff. So, but I understand everything RJ said, and I can't disagree. But again, I'm going to wait if it gets right up above the 2-point conversion. I'm going to probably take the Cowboys.
Yeah, I like that there. I think that I would be on the Cowboys at +9. I don't think we're going to get to that number unless you maybe wait and bet it in game in the first quarter. But that's the number that I would need to get on the Cowboys side. Otherwise, I'm kind of off of it at this point outside of first quarter, first half plays. I do think the thing that's interesting there, we talked about Zach Martin, can't overstate the loss there for them. I look a lot at offensive linemen, defensive linemen, and how they grade out. With Pro Football Focus, Zach Martin here was the number 2 rated guard on the offensive side of the ball. Significant drop for them in this game. Easily worth a full point in the betting market. You've kind of seen that reaction here as this game was hovering around 7 with some juice, 7.5. You're going to see it at 8. I think it closed half, to be honest with you. I do expect a lot of public money coming in on the Bucs on the morning and afternoon of the game. But overall, I can't bet the total, I can't bet the side right now where it's at. Again, I need to get to 9, but I do think that they're going to struggle. The question is, how rusty is Tom Brady and the crew going to look? I know they returned 22 starters with guys on both sides of the ball there, but I do think there's a chance they could come out just a little bit slow. Cowboys can keep this one, backdoor cover this one, but I'd need 9 to try and pull the trigger on that one.
Let me ask something real quick. So I think 8 is perfect teaser number, right? So would you take this, tease it down, go down in -2, and then maybe tease it with the Chiefs and get the Chiefs just to pick them and feel a lot better about where you're looking at Thursday because this is such a big number?
Yes. So I'm glad you mentioned the teasers. I know this is an NFL show, so I caution people against teasing college football games. I'm much more interested in teasing NFL games. This number, you're dead on. I would try to tease it before we get this to 8.5. I love it at 8. The Chiefs game is a perfect candidate for it. There's actually several candidates. I'm kind of surprised the number of candidates the books have left out there when you look at some of these perfect teasing numbers. But this one does stand out a lot to me. If you like the Chiefs and think they have the edge that I've told you that I have on them in the model, I do think that that's an excellent way to attack these 2 games.
And for those people who are brand new to sports betting and you're watching the show, what they're talking about is if you tease 2 teams, you could tease them down 6 points. So the Bucs would come down to -2. The Chiefs would come down to a pick 'em, and then that gives you but you have to win both games in order to win that bet in the teasers. We'll try to explain as much as we can. We also have educational videos at Sportsline that we have done, and we will continue to do. By the way, speaking of not showing up, the Cowboys, over 25 years since their last NFC Championship game. Tom Brady plays the NFC 1 time, and he makes it to the Super Bowl. How about that? Okay, moving on. Next game on the docket, Jets-Panthers. Panthers at home, -5.5. The total is 45. You've got rookie quarterback for the Jets in Zach Wilson out of BYU, but the Panthers now have the Jets' old quarterback in Sam Darnold. So it's going to be interesting to see how this game goes. When you saw this number start, what did you think, Maddie? You can start, and then we'll go in that same order, piggyback.
I know Mike's going to yell at me, but I was kind of pondering an alternate line this one, although now it's climbed to 5, so it's probably not worth it. I am going to probably take the Panthers here. I just think the Jets' defense was wiped out with Carl Lawson and Vinny Curry, and I think Jameson Crowder, number 1 receiver, might not play. I just think Sam Darnold has been poorly coached in New York for 3-4 years. Finally got a good coach, a brilliant offensive mind, Joe Brady. Yeah, a rookie quarterback on the road. I mean, Zach Wilson did look great in the regular season, and their number 1 running back is Tevin Coleman. I mean, come on, he'll be hurt in the first quarter. I like the Panthers here, but I'm just going to get it. I wish I would have got it earlier, but that's who I'll be taking eventually.
Mikey, go ahead.
Yeah. I'm right there with you. I think we've seen a lot of line movement already. This one's up to 5.5. I know it was widely available at 4. I think it was even 3.5 for a while. Makes a lot of sense. If Crowder's out, that's a massive, massive blow to a rookie quarterback making his debut on the road. Not to mention on the other side of the ball, a healthy Christian McCaffrey to start the season. You know he's going to have the ball in his hands a lot there. So if I had to play it, I would still lay the 5.5 with it. I think it's appropriate where it was. Obviously, if I wanted to play this game, I would have wanted to play it at -4. If you can get an alternate line and want to play the alternate line to -6.5, like Maddie mentioned, I think that's fine. I think it's a good way to get rid of some of that juice and take some plus money on it. But overall, I do think that you would be profitable if you were looking to fade rookie quarterbacks making their debuts in a road game like this.
Well, interesting thing about that is quarterbacks in their first career start are 18-5 against the spread over the last 2 years per CBS research. So I think it's a case where you pump these lines up because you expect them to fail and they just get a little bit too high and they're able to cover. So winning the game, I don't know that the Jets will win this game. I think this line's a little too high for me, though. I'm not that confident in the Panthers O-line. Right guard is out with COVID, too. We talked about Jameson Crowder might be missing. I don't know what to expect out of that Panthers offensive line. Is Sam Darnold going to be under pressure? We know he sees ghosts when he gets under pressure. So I don't have any confidence in him the way he's looked in the preseason coming out and firing against the Jets on week 1 with a coach that former defensive coordinator. He should have that defense in a better place, even if they are missing talent due to injury. And Wilson's looked solid in the preseason. I am a fan of the Carolina defense. We talked on the preview, the NFC South preview, that I was picking them to finish second in the division because I thought the odds were great, because I think that defense is going to come together at some point. A lot of great young talent. It being week 1, there's the odds are stacked against him for this to be the time that it comes together. So with Darnold, I still have questions on him if he's going to be effective. I know the Gase effect has been big for other players. They get that dead cat bounce once they get away from Gase and they become really good. We're going to see if that happens with the quarterback. Maybe he broke him to it. He can't be fixed at this point. So I think with that, the jury's still out on that. So at 4, I would have been with you guys. I was leaning Panthers. 5.5, I think is kind of too much for me. And if it gets to 6, I'll probably be looking to play the Jets.
I'm telling you right now, we've talked about 2 games so far. I'm telling you, these guys live, breathe, and eat this NFL stuff. If you haven't noticed already, this is where you need to be. By the way, RJ mentioned it. We've got 8 separate episodes in your feed right now. Turn on the notification. We previewed every single division in the NFL, 4 in the NFC, 4 in the AFC, and have all the futures in those episodes. All right, let's move on, guys. As we got to keep moving, we're going to get to every single game today. Cardinals and the Titans. Arizona really stumbled to the finish line last year. They're on the road at Tennessee. Tennessee has high hopes this year. They're giving 3 on Sunday. The over-under is 52. Mikey, let's start with you, and then we'll go in the same order there. Go ahead.
Yeah, I think this game is really, really efficient in the market. I don't have a ton of interest in it where it is. It's one that I would potentially look for a live play, but overall, I think that there's a lot going on here. I think there are better games on the board to attack. If you want, if you watch for this movement, I think that this one is coming down to 51.5. If it comes down to, below that 51.5 to that 51 number and you like it to shoot out, I think it's fine to lean over in that spot. But overall, I don't really want any part of the side. I have this one dead on 3 in the simulations. I think the Sportsline computer does as well. I think that there's just a game that's relatively well known by bookmakers and really the public in general with these 2 teams. So for me personally, it's an absolute stay away at this point. I'd be interested to see if anybody else here has a strong take on it. But this is one that I'm excited to watch, got a lot of exposure to in daily fantasy, but not super eager to bet on this one myself.
To back up Mike's play there on the over. Overs are 21-4-1 in Titans games since Tannehill took over. So I think people assume with Derrick Henry they're going to grind games out, but that defense has been bad, and Tannehill's been a lot better than people expect. So these overs keep hitting. So if that does come down to 51, I do like playing the over there. I would lean, if I had to pick a lean, I would go with the Titans. I do agree that it is fairly priced in the market. Both of these teams you expect to be better on offense than defense, but I like Tennessee's units on both sides of the ball a little bit more. Better, well-rounded attack with Tannehill playing an elite level. Arizona has an excellent tandem in Kyler and Hopkins, but everything else in that offense is unproven to me. And Tennessee's D was bad last year, but I do like their talent at each level, especially after you add Autry, Dupree, and Jenkins at each of those levels. So I think they're going to be better this year than they were last year, and I'm not confident this Cliff Kingsbury team is going to take a huge step forward. So if I'm playing this game, it's probably 3. I'm hoping it gets down to 2.5, and you can play that, but at 3, you're probably just staying away.
If Mike doesn't give me the weather for Sunday in his hometown, I'm signing off right now. I'm gonna need some weather derivations, clouds. I need something, man. Come on, what's
cloud
the
density
situation?
Yeah, I'll give you the air density index. We'll forecast whether we're looking at 52 to 54 on the field goal length. So we'll let you know.
All right, that's good.
All right. Okay, moving on. Our next one, Chargers -1 at the Washington football team. The total 44.5. Another team in the Chargers that had a new head coach. Washington, they've got a steady head coach. It's going to be interesting to see how LA comes out of the chute playing in the same division as the Chiefs. There isn't a lot of room for error. RJ, what's your initial thoughts on this line?
New head coach, new left tackle too. Chargers breaking in a rookie left tackle could struggle against that elite Washington pass rush. So this line's a little weird to me. I know the Chargers do play better on the road because they have a negative home field advantage. Other teams come to LA and they cheer for their teams when they're playing, and the Chargers don't have any fans in LA, so there's nobody there to cheer for them. Ryan Fitzpatrick, though, perpetually underrated, 13-5 against the spread in his last 18 starts. Big upgrade at quarterback for a team that last year won the division, closed the year strong, had an awesome defense, 2 emerging stars on offense in McLaurin and Gibson. So you add Fitzpatrick to that mix. I think they're going to be better this year than they were last year with that continuity at coach as well. I don't know what to expect out of the Chargers. So I think this line is giving the Chargers too much credit and probably being down on Washington a little bit too much here. So I'd go with Washington.
Yeah, I agree with you. I saw you made that pick already. And this one I'm probably not going to wait on, again, so the COVID test come back. But, while the 10 o'clock Pacific start isn't as big of a deal, week 1, since you had all week to deal with it, not travel as much, but it's still an issue. But the Chargers don't know how to win close games. But I think they're like 7-16. Their past 23 decided by 1 possession. Maybe Brandon Staley changes that, but he's first-time head coach. Their offensive coordinator hasn't been a coordinator in the NFL since 2015. Actually, I'm pretty high on the Chargers for this season. I think that if Derwin James can stay healthy for the first time in 2 years, and Justin Herbert's awesome. I do think Chase Young's going to have a little chip on his shoulder that he didn't go first. So, I know Herbert went after him, so I think he won Offensive Rookie of the Year. So that'll be fun to watch. But I love Washington here. I think they're vastly underrated, and I think they're going to win outright without much of a problem, frankly.
Yep, you can add another one on the Washington side. I do think that the Chargers are getting a lot of credit here. Some of it is due to the fact that they are healthy to start the season for the most part, other than obviously breaking in the new tackle. But as far as the skill position players, they are healthy. I do think that the defense on the Washington football team is what's going to make the difference. I think that they're better equipped to win close competitive games. I think we're going to see an absolute workload for Antonio Gibson this year, especially early in the season. So I like them. We've already mentioned the term alternate line here. You can take them on the money line. You can take the +1. I would probably recommend taking the Washington football team -1. You get that at +105 rather than lay the -115 with the +1 at this point. That's one move that I think you can do without really changing the probabilities a ton. It's way different than laying something like a field goal when you're +1. But if you want to lay them -1, bring that -115 down to +105. I think that's going to be a profitable move for you over the course of the season. But right there with you, it would be Washington or nothing in this game.
But if you're going to pick one team that's going to be screwed by like a missed extra point and screw you on that one, wouldn't it be the Chargers with the way they played in the fourth quarter of these games?
That is true. Yes,
no,
it's definitely true. Definitely true. If there's one team out there that can manage to lose a game by 1, it is absolutely the Chargers. No doubt about that.
Of course, their kicker's a 4th-year undrafted free agent, so that's very Charger-like.
Yes, sir. As Mikey would say, what could go wrong with the fourth, draft here. By the way, quick trivia question for any of the three of you. Can you tell?
Go ahead.
You're an idiot. Can you tell me how many teams that Ryan Fitzpatrick has started for in the NFL?
I believe this will be 8.
Incorrect.
I think it's more.
9.
I think it's like 11.
It is 9, and it's an NFL record starting. He's starting for his 9th team, and that's an NFL record. Amazing that he has hung around that long and has got that many starts with that many different teams. Incredible.
So that means I win. Sorry, guys. There is no Madden giveaway. I just won the giveaway.
You win the other one. Now, I'm glad you brought that up, Mikey, because ding, 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 ding. We just hit our first winner. We just hit our 100 likes on the show. So our winner, let me look, at – this is ironic. I thought this was actually Maddie's handle at first. The Dud 07. The Duds 07. You have won a Madden 22, brand new copy. I will autograph it. When Johnny reaches out to you, just let him know if you want PlayStation or Xbox, and we will send it right out to you. So that means I'll give away 2. If we can get to 200 likes, leave your Twitter handle and hashtag thank you, coach. Then we'll have another winner here just as soon as we get to 100 likes. And there's enough people watching right now that as long as everybody is cool, then we'll get to 200 likes. If we get to 300, I may have to dig up a third one, but I know that somebody on the show wants a free one. So, by the way, Jay Smooth has texted me 4 times about his free copy. No lie. No. All right, let's move on to it. All right, 2 teams that both are coming into 2021 with new head coaches. We're talking the Eagles. We're talking the Falcons. The total the spread right now, Atlanta by 3. The total is at 48. RJ, we are back to you. We don't know what to expect from these 2 teams. What do you think?
Well, his line was 3.5 for months, and I didn't understand why. I was like, we're giving Atlanta a lot of credit considering what we saw from them the last few years, and they didn't really do anything to improve their defense. I think teams will be able to score on them in bunches. They brought in Kyle Pitts, great addition. We expect him to be good. Rookie tight ends don't have a great track record though, so who knows if he's going to be dominant out the gate. And if he is good, that just replaces the production from Julio Jones. So they're kind of back to square one where they were last year when they went 4-12. So I do like the Eagles in this game. Philadelphia's much healthier going into this season as opposed to last year. Very strong in the trenches on both sides of the ball. Hurts is going to have his issues when forced to throw 30 times a game, and defenses can pick apart those passes. But he isn't one that I have confidence is going to contain him. I think he'll be able to run around a little bit, and Eagles probably win this game. So if you got it at 3.5, congratulations. 3 isn't a great number. So if you're looking to play the Eagles at this point, I think sprinkle a little bit on the money line and see if they win this game.
Yeah, I don't know. I think I'm going to stay away from this game. I don't know what to think. Like he said, the Eagles have lost 6 straight on the road and didn't cover any of them. Again, I don't want to read too much into preseason, but they didn't look very good to me. They look completely unorganized under Nick Sirianni. Jalen Hurts. I mean, I think there's a reason they went and got Gardner Minshew. I have a feeling Deshaun Watson might be there by midseason. So this is one I'm probably just going to just stay away and just only care about if I have fantasy guys in it.
Yeah, I'm right there with you as well. I've stayed away from it so far. Initial simulations want to give the edge to the Falcons. I'm a little cautious. I probably should trust my data a little more than I do in this spot, but I really don't. I make it minus 4.4 for the Atlanta Falcons. A lot of that has to do with being at home. But I have major question marks there for them, especially in the backfield. They've got Davis now, but they're kind of rotating backup backs in there. Obviously, have lost Julio Jones. Kind of a wait and see for me at this point. I think I got enough action out there in week 1. There's a chance that I get on it late with some news as it breaks over the next few days, or if we get some sort of market movement. If anything, I'll be watching the game, looking for an in-game play potentially. But as of right now, I don't trust the data enough to back the Falcons. My model is leaning towards the Falcons. If you want to grab them at home at a field goal or less, I think that's fine. But I'm not overly confident in it.
As we go throughout the week, and again, we're going to have 3 different shows on Sundays as this number moves, or as the guys feel a little bit more confident, or as we get more news throughout the week. Follow all of my guys on social media. We're always dropping nuggets. All right, moving on to the next game. Seahawks at the Colts. Seahawks right now giving 2.5. Indianapolis, new quarterback Carson Wentz, apparently, as RJ said, is scheduled to play this week. The total is at 49.5. Whenever Russell Wilson travels to the East Coast or Eastern time zone, he's really, really good. Maddie, what did you think of this line and total when it came out?
Well, of course, originally the Colts were favored, and then Carson Wentz went out, Quentin Nelson went out, then it flipped. Then at some books it went back once Wentz and Nelson came back after foot surgeries. Then T.Y. Hilton went out. So, as you said, the Seahawks are great on the Eastern time zone. We had one guy say Indiana's not on the East Coast, but I think he knows what I mean. They don't know how to change time in Indiana, so we'll just let that go. But yeah, this is another one I'm kind of struggling with, to be honest. I think the Colts have a Super Bowl roster everywhere but quarterback. I'm not sure the Seahawks have a Super Bowl roster anywhere but quarterback. So I'm at this one I'm going to sit back and wait on. I am looking at the lean, just taking one of the heaviest leans of any game so far on Seattle. So if it gets up to somehow 3, I'd probably take the Colts. But right now I'm kind of sitting back and waiting on this one.
Yeah, for me, I think that I'm actually going to end up with a full play on the game, and it's going to be an underplay. This line has crept up to, I believe, 49.5 right now, especially as we approach 50 on this one. I think that number is too high. Yeah, you can get 50 right now at a few spots. Once our sports line site flips over to that, I will be locking that in. I have this game all the way down to 45. I think that's where the number should be on this one. I get it. I get why the public likes it. I get why the market is moving it there. Two really high-powered offenses at times, but I do expect them to try to run the ball a little bit and work that clock a little bit. I don't expect massive red zone efficiency on either side against these teams. I think the Colts defense is going to be good enough in the red zone there. So I think we're going to see some field goals. I think the clock's going to get worked here, and I like the under 50 in this one.
And as you see, I locked it in myself under. I locked it in too early because it looks like it is going to get to 50 and be able to play under. So I don't expect much from the Colts offense in this game. Wentz barely practiced. It's going to take time to get in rhythm, and those pass catching options are limited. So you're going to see a lot of Jonathan Taylor, which is going to grind the clock out. And Seattle, among all teams, Pete Carroll is happy in the second half with a lead to grind the clock out and just play for the win. He's not looking to impress anybody with 35 and 40-point games. So once you get these teams running the ball in the second half, that clock's going to keep running, and it's going to be hard to get to 50 points. So I do like your underplay, and I'm already on that one.
I have a serious question for Mike. How much is a dome worth on a total? You know what I mean? Do you just standardize a dome, add 2.5 points or something? Or?
Not typically. It really just depends on which teams are going to be playing in the dome. Is it two that typically play in it? Is it one that never plays in the dome? That can have an impact on it. But overall, it's not as much as you would think. It really depends on the time of year, though, too, and what the team's baseline looks like. But especially early in the year, I would say it. Yeah, go ahead, RJ.
You get that noise factor too in domes. You get the louder noise a lot of the time because you're obviously the noise is capped in. So if you're a team that's not used to playing in domes, like you were saying, that could screw up the offense a bit. You're not used to being so loud and not being able to call plays. So that could actually depress the total. So you're used to seeing these games go over in domes a lot of the time, and you're thinking it's going to be a high scoring game. But these teams that aren't used to it, they just aren't used to playing in those type of elements. I think that could lower some scoring too.
We are going to adjust a little bit as we move forward. We have 16 games to get to. We still have 10 more. We only have about 20 minutes. These hours just fly by. So I'm going to tee everybody up, maybe 2 on a game, maybe just 1 on a game. But we're going to change. I'll tee you guys up on everything, okay, as we move forward. All right, let's move on to the Vikings and the Bengals. Vikings giving 3. The total is at 48.5. And if you have something you want to say, just put your hand up, and I can call on you too if you have something on a game. RJ, let's talk to you first on this game. What do you like?
Well, it's perfect timing because this is about where I got through all my notes before it got to 5 o'clock and we had to jump on. So I got a lot of blank on my screen at this point. So I'm just going off of memory now. But the Vikings were 3.5. It ticked up to 3.5, and that's where it is at some places. At 3, I do like them. They were limited defensively. Had a ton of absences between opting out of the season and injuries last year. They lost their top 3 cornerbacks. So we knew it was going to be a struggle for them last year on defense. They're going to be a lot better this year, bringing in Patrick Peterson and the other talent they got. So I think Joe Burrow, a little bit banged up. Don't know what to expect from him and that Cincy offense. If you can get it at 3, I think Vikings is the way to lean.
It's funny, the Bengals with Joe Burrow, their offense looked pretty good. And then he gets hurt, and of course they were terrible quickly. Maddie, any thought on this game?
That offensive line didn't look any better to me. They should have taken Penny Sewell, I think, other than Jamar the Drops Chase. I'm just glad I traded that guy in my Dynasty League. I have no opinion on this game. I don't like it much at all.
Yeah.
Mikey.
Yeah, so the only thing I would mention on this game is it does, I have the edge on Minnesota at -3. I think it should be 4.2 is where my median number is there. But I think that it feels like a trap game. I feel like you get this game at 3 and, it feels like someone wants me to take this game at -3, right? I think that I will have obviously the most exposure to this game through daily fantasy. There's just a lot of great players on both sides of it. But as of right now, I haven't played it. The model will tell me to play the Vikings -3, probably overthinking it by not just playing the Vikings -3 at this point. But that's where it's going to be. It's going to be a huge public side for sure.
And that is the easiest thing to do when especially when you're doing football betting, because we have the whole week to think about it. And sometimes we do overthink it and just say, listen, I know what it is. And sometimes it's as simple as that. It's as simple as playing the number that we know that it is. All right, moving on. And Maddie, of course, you're going to start with this game. The worst team in the NFL for the last several years against an absolute dumpster fire, a hot mess, and that is the Jags against the Texans. The Jags are giving 2.5, and I know RJ's on the total in this game, but I'm going to start with you, Maddie. When you saw this number with these starting quarterbacks or lack thereof, what did you think?
Well, number one overall quarterbacks don't win their first start. It hasn't happened since David Carr. I mean, Andrew Luck didn't. I mean, you can name them. None of them are win. I mean, did we not watch the Jaguars in the preseason? Again, you don't think it matters, but Urban Meyer doesn't know what he's doing. Travis Etienne's obviously gone. That offensive line is terrible. Tyrod Taylor's a servicer quarterback there at home. I liked Houston at 3. I hope it gets back to that, but I don't think Jacksonville should be favored on the road. That's for sure. So I'm probably going to play Houston in this one.
I can't believe that the Texans have actually decided to leave Deshaun Watson on the active roster to really just have a player stand there. And I know they have the reasons for it, and we're not going to get into all that. But they're wasting a spot. They're going to play with 52 guys. RJ, you're on the under in this game.
Yeah, he's going to be inactive every week. So, it's like you have those 7 or 8 inactive guys every week. So you just, kind of handcuffing yourself. And if you have an injury at quarterback, now you got to bring someone else in because you're not going to play that guy. So I was on the Texans at +3. It's already on the site. I thought it would tick down because, like Matt said, it makes no sense for the Jaguars to be road favorites. They're not a good team. They lost their last 15 games, didn't get any better on defense. I was on the over 45 because these two defenses are bad. I guess that somebody must have signed someone because it ticked down to 44.5. So I guess we're not going to have scoring in this game. But I don't know why, because I don't know you could stop anyone. So give me the over here and give me the Texans, especially on the money line. I think they win this. Tyrod Taylor has a winning record, in his years as a starter, 24-21, I think is his record. And Trevor Lawrence is 0-0, 0-0. We don't know what to expect from him. We know the rest of that team is bad, though.
Serviceable is never a word you want to use. Never a word you want to moving on to one of the marquee matchups of the week. We're talking Steelers. We're talking Bills. These two teams have tremendous quarterbacks. We don't know how healthy Big Ben will stay throughout the year. Bills are favored by 6.5. The total is 48.5. M-squared, what do you like here?
Yeah, this is another one that just screams, why do you guys want me to take the Bills -6.5 so bad? I respect the Pittsburgh defense. I'm actually showing the Bills offense having a little trouble on the offensive line here with the Steelers. I don't have a play on this one. I do think it's really efficient. I think that the number probably should only be 6. I don't think it should be 6.5. I think it should be 6, but the public's going to want to bet the Bills here, understandably. I don't have anything on it, unfortunately, at this point. If you want to play something here, I'd love to hear RJ's take because he's got a better read on this team. But this is one that very excited for. I'll have Diggs. I'll have Josh Allen in DFS lineups. But as of right now, I don't have a play on the game.
RJ?
This is one of, if I might say, go ahead, sorry, RJ.
No, go ahead. Go ahead, Manny. Go ahead.
Well, like I say, wait till Sunday for TJ Watt. If he's not playing because he's still holding out or didn't practice, I think that changes everything. So, like, if he's playing, I think the Steelers, he's that good, even if he has barely practiced. But yesterday it was like he might not play. Now today they think they're going to sign him by Sunday. He'll play. So there's few defensive players that you got to just kind of wait on, and he's definitely one of them. So.
And if he does play, he's not going to be 100%, and that ups the chance that the Bills will be able to handle him. And they don't, with Bud Dupree gone, they don't have anything proven on the other side. So I do lean the Bills in this one as well. I think the defense is going to be a lot better this year. They added to the defensive line in the draft. The defenses look strong in the preseason. I know it's the preseason. We can discount that. I think this line is probably about right. If I'm looking to play anything, though, it's the under. We know the Steelers had a good defense last year, and I think that Bills defense is going to be much improved. So maybe Josh Allen comes out and scores 40 points. I don't really see it in week one. I think this number is a little bit too high for me.
All right, very good. By the way, if you're just joining us, you're watching Early Edge Live, and this is our week 1 NFL mega preview. We're going through every single game and what my guys kind of like as the numbers came out here on week 1. All right, moving on. 49ers at the Lions, -7.5 on the road. Wow. The total is 45. That kind of shows you what the books Think of the Detroit Lions at home getting over a touchdown. Matty, your thoughts?
The 49ers have covered, I think, like one of their past 14 is touchdown fair, some crazy number like that. I wrote something today. I don't remember the exact number. I don't know why they're this high. I think the Lions are going to they're going to lead the league in personal fouls for sure, at least in the beginning, because Dan Campbell's going to have them. We've joked before on whatever his coffee drink is. I like the Lions here, actually. Full house in Detroit, as you say. Mike said something about domes. The Niners aren't a home team, are not a dome team. They got to travel across country. I think the Lions are going to be amped up. No one's going to care. Everyone's going to undervalue them. Do I think they're going to be any good this year? No, but I think they're going to play tough and going to be an above 500 ATS team. So I like Detroit here.
Okay. Anybody else have a thought on this?
I kind of back that up. I think Lions, the 49ers were 6-10 last year, and now everybody expects them. Yeah, they're going to win the division. They're a great team again. I don't think we know that. They're going to. They obviously don't have confidence in the quarterback, and he knows that going into week one that he's going to get replaced at some point. I don't think that he's going to play well this season, having that over his shoulder. And the Lions, I don't think they're great, but they haven't been great in the past, and they've come out and been competitive early in the season. So that defense is going to be bad. I agree on that. I don't think you have any confidence in the Lions defense. But 7.5 on the road for the Niners is too much for me. I think the value there is on the Lions.
I think it should be noted. Yeah. It's noted, Mikey, that Jimmy G, as a starting quarterback since he arrived, 22-8. The 49ers are when he doesn't play. They're 7-19. What does that?
Yeah, I think this game's going to be competitive. I actually lean towards the over in it as well. Looking at offensive defensive lines, I think that the 49ers still have a massive edge on that offensive line, especially when it comes to running the football. They've got a healthy team with Raheem Mostert. Kittle's healthy. Ayuk is healthy. I think that there's a number of playmakers here. I think that the 49ers are going to push 30 points in this game. However, I do see the defense still allowing the Lions to keep this one competitive. So if I had to, at this number of 45, I would lean towards the over. I don't love it, but I would lean towards the over. I could see this one turning into a little bit of a shootout with some garbage time action here in this one.
All right, very good. Keep those likes coming. We're getting very, very close to 200 likes. We're going to give away another copy of Madden 22. Hashtag thank you, coach. And leave those Twitter handles in our comment section. Now, we've got 6, possibly 7, if we have time for Monday Night Football to get to. So let's jump over to the Broncos at the Giants. Broncos also another team that's going to have a new starting quarterback under center. They're giving 3 on the road at New York. The total is 42. RJ, I know you're already on the under here. Give me a little bit more in depth on why you like this number.
Yeah, both. I like both defenses much better than the offenses. We don't know what we're going to see out of the Giants offense. A lot of guys still banged up, trying to get healthy. Saquon Barkley, if he plays, he's not going to be 100%. Daniel Jones against a good defense, I have no confidence in him putting up points. And then Broncos side, Teddy Bridgewater is serviceable. I know you hate that word, but he's been serviceable. But that offense doesn't have a huge ceiling, him at quarterback. So Giants, I think, can contain them a bit. This number being 3 now is a little skeptical to me. I think now that it's a 3, you might want to look to play the Giants because that's a big number for a team on the road that hasn't played well in the last year or two. So I would look to the Giants, but yeah, definitely love the under here.
Yeah. Either of you have a thought on this?
This is one I might have waited too long. I wish I would have gotten 2.5, like you said. Teddy Bridgewater 17-1, ATS in his best 18 on the road. Evan Ingram's not going to play. Kenny Galladay has barely practiced all camp. Same with Kadarius Toney. Yeah, like you said, Barkley probably 50%. So I'm hoping it'll go back, or I might have to take the 2.5 optional line. But I like Denver.
All right, I do have a question. Yeah. I know, Mikey, real quick, I want to ask you because we're on these 3 lines, and I know you always are so eloquent about buying half points. And I know it takes it up to sometimes 120, some books minus 130 when you're buying a half off of a 3 or off of a 7. What is your thought process on that quickly, please?
I'm generally just not buying them because the price of the point is certainly accounted for in terms of the probability of the game landing on that number. So you're paying a worse price for it. I think I'd rather take a hard stance on it and simply play an alternate line the other way if you really like it. If not, you don't have the edge required to really be playing the game in the first place, so I wouldn't play it.
Okay, very good. All right, let's move on, and we're going to stay with Mikey because you're on this game already. The Chiefs, who've made it to the last 2 Super Bowls, and Patrick Mahomes has gone on record as saying this year that his entire goal is to win every single game, which is why in one of our futures episode, we took the over, which was only 12.5. They only got to get to 13-4. Mikey, you like the Chiefs at that 6 number. Give me more.
Yeah, I like it at the 6 number. Again, I think this one is priced to believe the hype that we've seen from the Browns in the offseason, totally discounting the fact that the Chiefs have made improvements on that offensive line to protect Patrick Mahomes, to make the running game just a little bit easier for them. But let's not discount the fact that everyone's healthy. They're ready to go. This game is at home. There's a massive home field advantage at Arrowhead Stadium in the NFL here. They're absolutely going to be fired up for this matchup against Baker Mayfield and the Browns. I think it's a great number. Frankly, a little shocked that it's not going to close at -7. A lot of respect out there for the Browns. Possibly I'll be wrong on this one, but I think the Kansas City Chiefs will pull away in this one. I think it's going to be a lot of work for Baker Mayfield and the Browns to keep up in this one.
Maddie, RJ?
Where would you stop? Where would you start betting Cleveland? Would you bet them at 7?
I would need 7.5. But frankly, to like even start to consider it, but my number's all the way up to 8.6. Like it's not really close. My number on the neutral side is 6.4, and that's obviously not a neutral site game here.
I would need more. I think on a neutral side, I might make it 7.5 or 8. I think just you're pulling the Chiefs down to a little bit of level and not saying that they could be as good as they are. I have them as the number 1 team in my power ratings. Browns, either that or you're pushing the Browns up to that Bills level of last year, and I don't think that's the case either. So 6 is just laughably low to me. I agree 100% with what you said. I would be all over the Chiefs at 6.
Oh, I like that a lot. All right, we're down to just 4 games left. We're right on time. I think I like doing it this way. This one has a lot of intrigue. Dolphins with Tua. Patriots with Mac Jones. Patriots favored by 3, total at 43.5. RJ, and then I'll have all 3 of you because this is a really big game this weekend for a lot of reasons. RJ, then Maddie, then Mikey. You're already on the Dolphins +3, RJ.
Yeah, once it got to 3, I got on Miami because I think we're just not knowing what we're going to see from Mac Jones in that offense. It's not like Mac Jones is inheriting a ton of pass catching weapons. They added at the tight end position, and that's about it. They added some scraps in Aguilar and Kendrick Bourne in the at the receiver position. So I don't know what to expect really from the Patriots offense. I do know that Brian Flores looks like one of the better coaches in the league. He was very good last year, and I expect him to continue to be good, especially with an offensive coordinator he knows well on the other side of the ball, coming from New England. So I think this Dolphins defense is going to be ready to play in this game, and it's going to be a close game. I think if Patriots win, it's by 3. So a little bit of a free play for me. That's why I took the Dolphins once it got to 3.
This actually did dip from 3 to 2.5 when Jones was named the starter, and as you said, now it's back up. You said I think Stephon Gilmore for the Patriots, but the Dolphins might be without their starting left tackle. I believe he's in COVID. Will Fuller is suspended for this game. Remember that. And the Patriots will have Hunter Henry, so both those excellent tight ends at 2.5. If it'll go back down there. And again, this is one of those I might have waited too long, so both sides of it with the COVID issue. But I think if it drops again, I'm going to take the Patriots.
Yeah, I think we could have a sports line showdown on this one. I do actually like the Patriots in this one. Can't believe I'm saying it, but I really do. I also wonder if this team is happy that Cam Newton is not on the team anymore, if they're going to play a little better and rally around Mac Jones here. But really the edge comes down to, I think the Patriots are still going to be able to run the football, especially with Damian Harris here. I think that's going to take just enough off Mac Jones. He's going to work with Belichick here and manage this game. I think they're going to go down, and I think they're going to be able to win this one by 3 to 10 points. I think it's really nice weapons when they do look to complete some of these short passes for Mac Jones. He's got weapons like James White. He's got the 2 tight ends, especially Jonnu Smith out there. We want to talk about Myers over the middle and Nelson Aguilar as the deep threat, but I really think we're going to see a lot of pounding the football with Harris. I think we're going to see a lot of short passes to James White, Jonnu Smith, and I think they're going to manage this game well. I'm leaning towards the Patriots here. Haven't locked it in yet, but whether we have a sports line showdown or not, I think I'll end up on the Patriots.
Oh my God. I love the sports line showdown. And for full transparency, I still owe the lady killer $145 that I refused to pay.
Forward it to Allie.
Kelly signs up for Venmo. Oh, I know. She told me you hadn't paid her. She's like, you know what she said? Swear to God, on the air or off the air. She goes, do we actually pay each other for these bets? I go, no. Yes, we pay each other for these bets. It was so funny. But, yeah, get Venmo. All right, we've got a couple games left, only a couple of minutes left on this mega Week 1 NFL preview. Let's go Packers-Saints. Packers -4 on the road. The Fighting Jameis Winston's in Week 1. The total is set at 50. Matty Severance, what do you like here?
I understand everyone that got it early when the Saints were actually favored, a month or 2 ago. And I get it with Thomas out, Onyemata out, the kicker out. I'm surprised Marshawn Lattimore has not been suspended yet, frankly. So that's something I might keep an eye on this week. You'd think the NFL would have handed it down by now. Mm-hmm. Obviously, they lost home field advantage, but I just think this is starting to climb too high. I've seen it at 4.5 in a few books. The Packers, they want their best left tackle, possibly their best pass rusher. I'm going to probably take the Saints just now that it's over a field goal. And I only think it's going to go up from here. So even though there will be a lot of Green Bay fans in attendance in Jacksonville.
Mikey?
Yeah, I wish I would have been on it at the Packers -2.5 even, but I think that's the way you have to lean now that you're taking this and basically making it a road game. I know it's a neutral site game, but it's so much different for the Saints as they were going to be preparing to play this game at home. Now they're in Jacksonville. There's going to be a lot different weather conditions here. It's going to be hot, potential summer thunderstorms going off around the time of this game here. I think that as far as the Packers and their team, they're better built to deal with that adversity than the Saints team is. So if I had to play it, that's where I'd be. I missed the number on it at this point. So it's going to be a lot of DFS exposure for me. As far as which side you're on, I think you got to ask yourself the question, is what we saw from Marquez Callaway in the preseason, is that real life? Is he going to be an emerging star at wide receiver? If you think that's the case, I think it's okay to lean in the direction of the Saints, or even potentially tease this one. And once you've got it up to 6, you can tease it to 10 if you like that way. But overall, it's going to be a lot of DFS exposure. I'm going to watch the game, but unfortunately, I missed the best number, so I can't really participate at this point.
We all should be kicking ourselves because AB gave this number out at 2.5 2 months ago.
Well, that was voided, though, because of the venue change. So that would have been voided anywhere.
I guess so. I guess that's right. That's right. All right. We do have another winner in the perfect parlay, in the Mad 22 contest. Mr. Burns. You are our second winner of a Madden 22 autograph copy of yours truly. Johnny will reach out to you on social media, get all your details, get your address, and we'll get that out to you ASAP. You start playing on the 1s and the 2s. All right, just a couple minutes left, guys. We got Sunday Night Football and Monday Night Football. Raise your hand if you want to jump in, but I'm going to go to RJ here. Bears, Rams giving 7.5. The total is 46.
Kind of a big number for me. The Rams lost several pieces on defense. I think that the Bears, even though Andy Dalton hasn't looked good, could have a little bit of success offensively, a little bit more than we think. And the Bears defense has been solid. Matt Nagy's put together 3 seasons of 8-8 or better with this team. So I don't think the Bears are terrible by any means. Matt Stafford's first game with LA, maybe he comes out and fires it up, but they're going to have to pass a lot because they lost Cam Akers. So I'm not confident in that run game either. So this seems like if the Bears are playing to take away the pass a little bit and limit what they can do, they can keep this game close and a little bit more low scoring. So I think Bears is probably the value at this one.
Actually, Matt Nagy has not led him to 3 straight seasons of 8-8 or better. Vic Fangio did, and then Chuck Pagano did. Matt Nagy is worthless, man. I haven't had a Bears quarterback jersey since Jim McMahon. I want to freaking buy one so I get Justin Fields out there. They might hang close just because of their defense, but they aren't going to win. And as he said, the under, I think, is a lock. But yeah, I just don't think I've watched them all preseason. Their offensive line sucks. They traded up in the second round for their starting left tackle. He's out for the season. They signed 85-year-old Jason Peters. I'm so tired of it, man. Mismanaged.
Maddie, how many times on Sunday night, if he doesn't play well, we're going to see this quote from Andy Dalton. Quote, Justin Fields is going to have a great career, but right now, it's not time. You can't say that when you haven't done anything since Cincinnati. You can't say that.
Yeah.
But he did. All right, last game, and we'll go to you, Mikey. Monday Night Football. First ever Monday night game. Well, maybe not. That's probably not true. Ravens -4.5 on the road at the Raiders. The total is 51. What did you like or what did you see when this opened up, Mikey?
It's very interesting. I definitely have edges for the Baltimore Ravens. I'm kind of shocked that this one was -4.5, to be honest with you. I think that it could be all the way up to -6, -6.5. So I've got a pretty considerable edge on it at this point. I give big edges to the offensive line here. I think they're going to pave the way for Lamar to do really whatever he wants to do. I don't expect the Raiders to be able to keep pace in terms of scoring the points in this game. So while it may be competitive for a half or so, I love the Ravens at 4.5.
I was on the same wavelength at the beginning of the offseason or beginning of the preseason. They just had so many absences, and I'm a little bit untrustworthy. I would have been on this already, but with all those guys missing, I've been dealing with injuries. I'm kind of staying away. Plus, first game with fans, for the Raiders in Las Vegas, first regular season game that is. I was at the preseason open. Place was pretty loud, pretty raucous. So I expect they're going to bring it with this one, and it should be a pretty big atmosphere there. So I trust trust Harbaugh, John Harbaugh as much as I can, but it just seems like a tough situation for him.
Yeah, I think the Death Star will be rocking. I'm going to take the upset. No Dobbins. They just lost Justice Hill. Boykin's out. Rashad Bateman's out. I don't know. They're just loaded up against the run, and Lamar Jackson beat him with the pass. So I'm going to take the point too.
How about the Ravens being the only one of 3 teams last year that didn't have a 300-yard passing game? Think about it.
I'm sure the Bears were the other one. One of the other ones.
Let's throw up there, Johnny. I want to throw up the schedule one more time for the live stream so people understand what you're going to get every single day during the football season. We'll have this Tuesday mega preview every single week where we touch on every single game. Then on Wednesday, we're going to do our college football mega preview at 3 p.m. Eastern time. Then Thursday, every Thursday, we're going to count down to Thursday Night Football. This week, boy, an hour just doesn't seem long enough for the Cowboys and the Bucs. Then on Fridays, we're going to do our NFL prop show. Then Sunday, 3 shows. Our regular morning show at 10 a.m., then noon, and then 7 p.m. Eastern time. Then, of course, a big Monday Night Football show at 7 p.m. Eastern. This week, it's the Ravens and the Raiders, and you'll see all of these 3 faces all the time. There is nobody better for information to get you set for week 1 of the NFL. All right, we are done for now. So there's only one thing left to do. You've got your marching orders this week. Let's take all of these tickets whenever you get them straight to the pay window. For my man RJ, for the lady killer, for M Squared, and for Johnny, our producer, I am the coach. Remember, whether it's morning or whether it's the afternoon, we got you covered right here on the Early Edge. Good luck. Do you want best bets in your feed every single day? All you have to do is hit that subscribe button to stay up to date with all things Early Edge.